Hey, 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 hey. What's going on, Sandra? What's going on? I hope y'all are welcome. I hope y'all excited as I am because welcome to STEMedia Live. I'm your host, Dr. Nee. What's going on, Essie? This is a special edition of STEMedia Live. In fact, this is STEMedia Love, right? This is where we're going to chat with some of the most inspirational and creative people in the STEM community. I'm excited because today is no exception. Y'all hear the vibes? Y'all hear it? Check it out. Hey, hey, hey. What y'all know about that backhand bounce? That backhand bounce? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Hey, thanks, Alex. Hey, hit the cabbage patch with me real quick. Eddie, here you go. It's like this, Eddie. It's like this. It's cabbage patch. Here you go. 1, 2. Hey, I know you see me. I see you. All right. Yo, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. What's going on, Consciously Minded? STEMedia Live. Tonight is Valentine's Day. It is February 14th. DJ, turn that down real quick. Don't mind if I do. Y'all check it out, man. I just want y'all to know that, listen, it doesn't matter tonight if you're in a romantic relationship or not. I just want you to know, first and foremost, here on STEM Media, we love you. We care about you. We love this community. And the reason why we do what we do, we bring a lot of creative and inspirational content your way, is because we want to elevate and inspire you. So thank you so much for being here, Eddie. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm excited again because this is the place where we chat with some of the most inspirational, creative people in the STEM community. And tonight, y'all, I have two of my very special friends. Two people that have been a part of this community for a very long time. And I hope y'all got the hearts ready because they're going to be sharing their engineering love story. But first, if you are here, if you're feeling good, can y'all give me a heart in the chat? Give me some hearts and give me a heart in the chat. I just want to feel the vibes. Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate that. Oh, I feel that one. That's personal right there. Y'all give me some hearts in the chat. Let me know how you feeling. I want to make sure that y'all are on the same wavelength with your boy during our STEMedia Live Love edition of 2021. I'm looking for the hearts. Alex, thanks, bro. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the hearts. We want to see the hearts because I'm telling you, the people that we have coming, this couple, they're really, really special people. Care a lot about them, and I think that you're going to gain a lot from their story, not just as it relates to love and their relationship, but as it relates to their journeys in STEM. So I see the hearts coming. I see the hearts coming, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing going. Shout out to the people watching on Instagram, and shout out to the people on YouTube. STEMedia Live is brought to you by the STEM Media Network. Go and check us out at STEMmedia.com. And if you are on YouTube, hey, now's a good time to subscribe. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below about your favorite part of tonight's show. All right, let's get some hearts going. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you all to tonight's guest. This is a couple. She is a servant leader and speaker with expertise in facets of effective systems engineering, relationship building, and auditing prowess. Skilled in collaborating with all members of the organization, she is helpful in achieving business and collaborative culture objectives. He is a licensed civil engineer, consultant in the commercial land development sector. Throughout his career, he has worked on a range of projects such as K-12, multifamily, industrial, and the like. And he has led teams in the design and production of construction plans, budgets, schedules, and bid packets. They are a couple of newlyweds in engineering and have graciously agreed to spend some of their first Valentine's Day as a married couple with us. So please, if you're here, let's go ahead and start tapping the hearts. Let's go ahead and get the love going and welcome, join me in welcoming this evening none other than our guests, Brianne Martin and Fernando Ceballos. Let's go ahead and welcome them now to STEM Media Live. Let's get the hearts. Let's get the hearts.
Oh, are we here?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey.
Everybody, they are here. They are here. Welcome to STEM Media Live, y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Cool,
you
cool, cool.
Me on my bio and her husband.
Oh, yeah. I got to put that on the bio, right?
Yeah.
Brianne's husband, Fernando. That's right. Hey, man. That is an awesome title to have as a married man myself. You know, there aren't many titles that can go above that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. So I hope y'all see the hearts. Y'all get the hearts coming. This is Brianne and Fernando. We got two people. We've done this a few times, y'all, where we try to get two people in the same thing. So if it's whatever's work out for y'all, maybe sometimes the further back, the better it is, or whatever the case may be. But listen, I couldn't be more happy to see both of you all's faces here on STEMedia Live. So welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. So hey, you all been married, what, officially a month and a half to be exact? Is that right?
Yeah.
What is the most common question you've gotten since you've been married?
I think the most common question is, does it feel different? Or how is it now that you're married? And I think the fact that we've been together for 5.5 years, been living together for most of our relationship, it hasn't like been a huge, I guess, shift. The biggest thing is the idea of dropping the in a conversation like, yeah, my wife, instead of saying Brianne or my fiance.
Right.
That's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to transition from being a fiance to a husband now.
Yeah. You like hear yourself say, "Oh, Brianne," you're like, "Oh yeah, my husband." Oh, that sounds kind of good.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah. So so check this out, right? This is how we normally start the show on STEMedia Live. We normally ask for a random fun fact. But since you all are a couple or married couple now, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I'm going to ask for a random fun fact about the other person to get this thing started and break the ice. All right. So we're going to keep it safe for our audience. I don't want to cause any issues in the home. But if there is a random fun fact that you can share about one another, we would love to hear it on our STEMedia Live Love Edition.
Sure. Yeah, I'll start. So what's crazy is most people don't know unless you follow my Instagram stories. Fernando throws down in the kitchen. He is such a good chef. He he makes some good food. Even tonight, he was like, "Oh, so I was like, what are we gonna do for dinner?" He's like, "Oh, I got a surprise for you, Dr. Nee. This is the best shrimp pasta I have had in my entire life." I'm like, I certainly made it.
Wow. Hey, Fernando, I'm gonna have to get some notes, man. You got to slide me some recipes so I can
that YouTube University, man.
Oh, really? Okay. Got you. Y'all show him Fernando some love, man, for throwing down in the kitchen. Y'all get the hearts going. Thank you so much, Sandra, really quick for the hearts. We love the donation, the badges. Fernando, what's your random fun fact about Brianne?
Random fun fact, Brianne collects rocks whenever we go different trips. So she'll pick up a rock and be like, this is a rock that's going to remind me of this trip. And then she'll write on the rock. So we have a bunch of rocks somewhere in the house where there's different places that we've been to.
Wow, that's interesting, Brianne. I didn't know that. Do you do other art on it at all, or you just write on it basically?
No, I just write on it. What's crazy is if I could, I would have like trees and leaves and rocks in my house. Obviously, it's a little crazy. So just having rocks that like hold meaning or remind us of a hike we were at, or just sitting under a tree that we were really admiring. I really feel connected to outdoors. So just having small rocks with us, really means a lot.
Awesome. Well, y'all, that's very interesting. Y'all got some really good fun facts to share. Y'all, this is Brianne and Fernando, the newlywed couple. Been married for exactly 1.5 months. They slid into 2020. They got in. 2020 was you all's year. And man, I just couldn't tell you how happy I am to have y'all here and to just know you all. And we're going to get into, a little bit of our history together. But let's go here, right? Obviously, you all know each other. You're married. The first thing I want to know is, let's take us to, and we'll start with you, Brianne. Where were you in your career journey? What were you doing, right before you met Fernando, before you even knew he existed? Like, what was your mindset? What was your mission? What was your goals as it related to your career? Take us to that moment, and then we'll come to Fernando.
Sure. So it's kind of crazy because we both started work around the same time, January 2014. We both graduated December 2013. And for me, it was like hardcore. How far can I get? Workaholic, like no play, no game, just hardcore work. I was working in the international aerospace industry, so the work was there. I was introduced to a brand new role as well as my new job. And so I was like really just hard in the paint, for 12, 15, 17-hour days. And it was really crazy because then I burned myself out very quickly. Wow. So then it was probably about a year and a half at that point when I met Fernando, like right before I was like, I need to take it easy. I need to start taking care of myself. Like the whole world around me was just crazy. And I felt like, okay, I really need to, like, work can be work, but I need to start developing myself. I had gotten elected as a regional vice president for SHIP, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. And I was like, I'm really going to work on myself, my personal, professional, and leadership development. And like, I'm going to give this my all.
Man, I'm wondering, what was it though for you? Like, was it that you had such high goals for yourself that caused you to like be so tunnel vision at first and so focused? What was it that kept you so like driven at that point?
Yeah, well, I think for school, it was just so hard, right? Like, the conceptual stuff, like I'm such a hands-on learner.
Yeah.
So any internship I had, I loved, I enjoyed, I was, an amazing engineer. But yet in the
Hmm.
classroom, I struggled with getting the grades or tests or showing that I understood the concepts because I was just such a hands-on learner. So when it
Right.
came to work, I was like, this is my time to shine. Like, this is where I get it, And
Yeah.
so really just knowing and kind of understanding mentally, again, women of color, young,
Hmm.
I had to really prove myself. And so I was going to show them, like, I'm going to learn and I'm going to put in the work and like pay my dues. So I was really just in that hustle mode. I mean, hardcore grind.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, no, that's really interesting that you had that. That's something that you see a lot. A lot of people are just like really career driven, and the fact that you took a step back obviously paid dividends for you to begin to start focusing on yourself. So,
Uh-huh.
so Fernando, what about you? Where were you in your career journey right before you even like was made aware of Brianne and who she was?
Yeah, so I guess when I met Brianne, plus or minus, I guess or minus a month and a half back up from when I met her, I had I had been involved in SHIP. I'd been nominated or I guess promoted to a different position. So
Hmm.
that gave me the opportunity to go to a conference that I met at Brianne in California, right? And at NELA for SHIP. And so
Okay.
being part of that row, it gave me more exposure to just being out there, working on my personal brand, working on my public speaking. I was coming down from the perspective of having a good time with my friends, partying with my friends. I
Uh-huh.
just graduated a year ago, right? And so at this point, I get to a level, and I'm like, you know what? Life needs to be more than just like going out with my friends every weekend and just
Okay.
blowing money. So I kind of shifted from I just graduated, I'm making big boy money, to let me start focusing to giving back to the community and really focusing on developing my personal skills and my professional skills. So again,
Right.
the role that I had in SHIP really gave me that perspective on, there's so much more to life, right? There's so much
Yeah.
more to growing as a professional. And I started meeting different mentors, meeting different people. And so, like I said, that summer of 2015, that's kind of when I started, finding out about Brianne.
Uh-huh.
I actually saw her website that she had dropped before I met her, and I remember reading her story, and she had been through a lot of trauma, and she talks about it, openly in social media. And I remember
Hmm.
just thinking to myself, like, I wish I could be man enough to love someone like that, because she's been
Wow.
through a lot, right? And so I
Wow.
remember, saying to myself, and I shared this with her, I'm like, I wish I could have one of those. And so, long story short, we meet in California, and we hit it off, and I got one of those.
Oh man, that's beautiful, Fernando. Man, you score points here before the whole STEM community. Brianne, I see the blushing coming up. I think I'm blushing. I don't even know what's going on here. Listen, man, that is lovely. Y'all give them some hearts. I mean, we're talking to the engineering newlyweds, Brianne and Fernando. They just shared with us their story of where they were before meeting each other. Thank you so much, Eddie. Thank you for the badge, Sandra. Y'all, if you just joined us, we do this every week, but this is a special, first time only. Y'all are the first STEM Media Live Love Edition guests.
One of
And
many.
what better time? This is historic, y'all. This is historic. So how about this? All right, shout out to who said it? GIS Scholars says, great story, guys. Thanks for sharing it. Cosmically minded, put a heart. Alex says Rico Suave with the sunglasses on. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. So give us the play-by-play of the meeting. And really quick, like SHIP, for those who don't know, I know a lot of people know, but SHIP stands for the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. And you all are both in professional chapters. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
All right. And you're in, I guess, two different chapters, maybe.
Yeah. At the
Cool.
time, I was living in Dallas and Fernando was living in Houston.
Okay.
So that new position I got elected to, I was actually the regional vice president. So I was like overseeing 7 states.
Yeah.
And again, like we kind of came from different chapters and we both got, so much more involved as professionals than we did as students. We didn't really know about it or weren't involved in other organizations. And we really
Yeah.
stepped into the leadership role as professionals.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. So Fernando was like, man, I wish I could
So
get
here's
one
the
of
other
those.
thing. This is the one that people always give me, kudos to. Is we're gonna get into this, but we met in California, right? She's living
Okay.
in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I'm living in
Yeah.
the Houston Metroplex. And so after we meet, a weekend from knowing each other, we started dating. But the thing is, I started driving 10 hours every single weekend for 4 months straight to see her. And so after 4 months, I'm like, you know what? We'll see what happens. It is what it is. So we moved in together, and we've been here. It is what it is. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this leap of faith, and I just don't want to do long distance. So we just make the commitment and we move forward with it.
So 10 hours, what is that? That's not
so
how far.
It's like a 5-hour drive one way. So it's, yeah.
Wow. So Dallas Houston to Dallas and then back. That's 10 hours. Man, that's commitment, Brianne.
It's 4-ish if you look at online, but with traffic and stuff, it's a 5-hour drive.
Yeah. So what did I say to you, Brianne, when he was driving this much? I mean, when did you begin to start saying, oh, this guy is he's pretty serious about me?
Well, so what's crazy, Nee, is, again, as he was saying, he was just now trying to kind of, tame back his social calendar, which, again, he's a very popular guy, a lot of friends. As you know, we both enjoy being busy. And so when we met, we hit it off and we're like, oh, we'll just hang out and see where this goes. And he actually told me, well, I'm pretty booked until October. And I was like, well, this is August. Like, if you don't got to talk about October, like, don't waste my time, dude.
I made it work.
So that, like, literally the next day, he's like, well, I'll be there this weekend. So again, it's kind of like, okay, he understood that if we're going to try this, I wasn't asking for it to be in a couple of days, but at least a little more, realistic than that. So I think, again, it was very serious. We're both very open and honest people. So even from the beginning, I know we were asking about, how we met. And that was a big part of it, is like literally just, we opened the floodgates. We were very open about who we were. And we knew that we were going to be in each other's life somehow. I think it was unexpected for us to fall in love with each other so quickly, but we're just very passionate, very open and forthgoing people. It was just, that's how it went.
Right. Wow. So it seems like it really, when it picked up pretty quick after you all met each other. But go ahead and give us, I guess, the play-by-play of the actual day, like in California, or at a conference event, right? A ship conference. Like, how did that, what do you remember what each other had on? Like, talk about that day.
Yeah, I guess I'll start from the beginning and maybe Fernando can finish it for me. But again, as he mentioned, like, he had saw my profile online and I had just started my profile. Again, our CEO at the time had told me, you need to share your story. So I was like, I'll just throw up a bio sketch, a PDF of like a, 2-page of my story of who I am. Yeah. And he found it, like literally, like the week I launched it, which is insane. Because I was like, I'm not going to promote it. Nobody knows about it.
It's the algorithm. That's what it was. Because we're gearing up for this conference. And so everyone that's part of the organization is becoming friends and connections on LinkedIn and Facebook, whatever this is. So the algorithm says, hey, you should probably connect with this person.
Yeah, y'all may know each other.
So it says, person of interest. So I click on the page and anyways, continue.
No, yeah, for
Indeed,
sure.
you were a person of interest. Indeed.
And so he saw my profile again, as he said, I want one of those. Saw my, again, I was hard in the paint with my mechanical engineering. And then funny enough, I started adding people on Facebook saying like, hey, I'm excited to meet you. But Fernando started trying to throw game and it totally went over my head. And he was, we were just making connection and talking. And then he was like, I was landing, I think 2 hours after him. And he was like, well, I'll wait for you and get an Uber. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's like 2 hours. Don't wait. And he's like, no, I'll wait. And I didn't get it. So
Fernando was like, no, I was
trying to save money.
What? Say it again?
So I was trying to save money on the Uber pool.
There you go.
Yeah, so the whole conference, again, I'm in a different kind of section track because of my leadership role. He's making friends and connections the whole time, but for whatever reason, anytime I'm in the room, he tends to gravitate towards me. Again, I didn't think anything of it, like no big deal. And not until the very last night, we all went out dancing again as ship. We all go out dancing, have a good time. And they played a country song, and we were again dancing with a bunch of friends, a bunch of people we had met. And they played a country song, and the whole dance floor disappears. So he offers to, buy me a drink. We get on the dance floor, we 2-step, and after that, the rest is history.
He won you with the footwork.
This place is more about playing salsa and bachata,
merengue.
And so I enjoy dancing that, but I'm not very good at it.
Same.
But once country music comes on, I'm like, get out of my way, bro.
This is my dance.
Man,
that is so Texas too. That's such a Texas love story.
And so the place closes, we grab food, again, typically you go up 3 or 4 in the morning, you grab some breakfast, and we go back to the hotel room. or to the hotel. And
Lobby.
so we're in the lobby, and everybody goes to their room, there's their own thing, and we're just talking. And then people had flights 6 a.m., 8 a.m. They go up, take a nap, come back down. And we're still there. Like, you guys are still down here? We're still talking. People leave, people are grabbing breakfast. We're still down there. So it's maybe like 14, 15 hours later, we're still having conversation. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and grab our stuff, check out, and go get some breakfast. And, that's that, I guess, for that night, right? You're asking the question, like, how did we know? That goes into breakfast. And that was, our first date, having brunch at a pretty expensive place. I didn't really know what was going on. It was in California. We walk in, like, okay, we'll grab some Mexican brunch. They're playing music. They have like all you can drink mimosas. Like, okay, no big deal. It won't be that bad. I get the bill. I'm like, no, I got it. No big deal. I get the bill, $250, $125 a bottle. I'm like,
oh my goodness,
this is the most expensive. I'm sure people are balling out, right? But I had never spent that much money on a breakfast. But
I know, right?
That's the first date.
You dropped $250 on the first date. Right? Hey, listen. Sometimes you gotta go high. You just gotta go big or go home.
Well, the tough part is, like, you set the
bar so high.
The bar so high.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing next week?
Tacos at the corner store.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, shout out to everybody joining us on STEMedia Live, man. This is Brianne and Fernando. I love them so much, man. Texas, stand up. Ash Marie says, we got some hearts for more life luxury. I love it. Ileana Lily says, a bunch of hearts coming through. Jen, thank you so much. I think people were feeling on that 250. I don't know if I went that big, but listen, again, you go big or go home. You got to sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So you all ended the conference. You flew back. Was it the same flight, or you all kind of had different flights, went back home?
Yeah,
obviously you have each other's contact information.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Yeah. So what changed after that, though? Because obviously, Brianne, you were driven. Fernando, you were realizing that, okay, let me slow down a little bit. I don't have to be the party animal anymore. How would you say that things maybe changed? Because here's one of the things I noticed, like, we know that just in the journey, not everyone is fortunate enough to have like to hit on the first try. You know what I mean? Like, what's the saying? You got to kiss a fruit frog. Sometimes people say, or whatever the case may be. What were some of the things you noticed that changed, that began to like sort of like improve each other or really like edify each other from a standpoint of, hey, this person is a asset to my life?
Yeah, I feel like for me, and I'll be totally honest, we're very open about it, but I was very opposed to even the idea of a relationship, because for me, I was like, I'm just now getting in my stride, right? I'm just now learning how to love myself and take care of myself and show up for myself. And so with Fernando, I told him, like, hey, I really like you and I appreciate this, but like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And so as time went on, like, we just couldn't deny that we really cared about each other. And it just became a, hey, he's too good to pass up. Obviously there was a lot of resistance. It was like, he was like, hey, like, let's get more serious. And like, he was calling himself my boyfriend. And I'm like, oh, that's like, I don't know.
Wait. Let me get that real quick, man. You mean to tell me Fernando was saying he was your boyfriend before you started saying it?
No, like, so we agreed that we were going to start dating.
Okay.
And then, but like I said, he was just like, yeah, so as your boyfriend. And I was just like,
it was official, but it wasn't clicking.
Yeah. I was, again, really opposed to the idea of it. Like, I wasn't ready. And so it took me a while, and I was very back and forth. And he was, I would be like, you know what? I don't think I can do this. And he's like, nope, you're not getting out of this. Like, we care too much about each other.
No take backs. No take backs.
I mean, some people could take it the wrong way, right? But I mean, she said it is over. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, I'll give you time. It's all right. I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you're glad he didn't walk away so easily, Brianne. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Shout out to Alante really quick. Thank you for the badges, Alante. I really appreciate it. Nesby Space City is in the building. We have two of Ship's finest. Engineering Music Guy, thanks for coming through. We got two of Ship's finest, Brianne and Fernando. The 1.5-month-old union they have here as a married couple. Fernando, we're going to go ahead and go towards you now when you begin to start thinking about, all right, popping a question. Obviously you all were already together. You knew that she was the one. You knew this was it. What was sort of the planning process? Because you met at SHIP, and I remember seeing the video when you popped the question.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit of behind the scenes of you saying, all right, I'm about to go ahead and just ask her to marry me.
Yeah, I mean, if it were up to me, we would have been married a long time ago. I came up with plans like 3 years ago, but to go for like the actual engagement, I came up with like maybe 6 or 7 different iterations as to what it could be. You know, I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna show up with a bunch of SHIP people to the airport. As she's going to baggage claim, I'll pop the question. That wasn't an option. I was gonna do something, you know, casual at the house, tie a ring to one of our cats.
Yeah.
So like I would drop hints here and there of like what she would wanted, and then the things that she was adamant about was like, don't do. I mean, everybody can do their own thing, but I don't want a sports. I don't want like the big thing. And so
Jumbotron, no Jumbotron.
Yeah. No flying helicopters with a sign that says "Marry Me."
Yeah.
But anyways, so I make the commitment and decision that I want to propose at NELA, which is the same conference we met at, right? And so
what was that? Go ahead and say what that is. NELA is?
This is the National Institute of Leadership Advancement. It's an acronym for just the leadership, I guess.
Like for all the chapter leaders?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Leadership of
all the chapter leaders come together. It's like the whole country comes together and they send 1 or 2 representatives per chapter. And so I make the commitment that it's going to be there. This is going to be our 5th. It was our 5th one, right?
5th one.
So it was our 5th conference going back to back to back to back. And so I'm okay, this is going to be the one. I started thinking about, well, we're going to go hiking. Maybe I'll propose to her when we're on our hike, but we're going to do house wedding. That's not going to be an option. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do it at dinner. Maybe I'll do it when we're on a workshop. And so I'm coming up with all these plans. And then I get there and staff comes and tells me, are you proposing this weekend? I'm like, oh
shit. Man.
Like people know, you know, like something's going on.
Somebody leaked the intel.
No one's supposed to know this. So I'm sure Brianne's like, well, we looked at a ring, so maybe he's going to propose. And so we get to day 3. I think it was like day 2 or 3. And she had, at this point, given up. And I'm like, he's not going to propose here. Yeah. And I was able to get some of the staff to help me out, get her dressed up and get her to the front. And our CEO, I'm like, if you can say these words, and then at that point, that'll be my sign to come and propose. Every single year, we get all of our members together for like a big group picture. And so we're talking about 200, 300 people, right, lined up for a photo, like an aerial photo. And so our CEO is saying, you know, SHIP is a great organization. You make friendships. You make really meaningful relationships. And sometimes people even fall in love. And so Lola walks to the front, and everyone's like, what's going on? And I was like, you know what? This is going to be perfect because I'll have, in my mind, I was hoping for a photographer to take a picture of us, me proposing, and everybody around us. And that's exactly what happened, right? So that was kind of like my thought process and everything I went through. So that's the engagement.
Yeah. Fernando, I remember when I saw the post, you know, definitely, running the STEMedia account. And I had known you all, you know, for a few years at that point. And, you know, I knew you all were an item and like, you know, we've connected offline and I was able to see Brianne, meet her in person when I went to Texas for a little while. And like, I just really felt invested in you all's relationship. So when you posted that, I was like, oh no, we definitely got to get this. A lot of people got to see this. This is epic because you met at this conference, this leadership conference, and then exactly 5 years later, you proposed at it. And I just think that's such a nice full circle kind of event. Brianne, did you know? So you knew Brianne?
No. Well, what's crazy is again, like we talked about it. I knew Fernando had wanted, and same thing. I was like, I'm just not ready yet. I'm just not married. I'm not ready. You know, a lot of just serious conversations that we were having as, you know, just partners do. What do our future look like? Did we want to have kids? Where do we want to live kind of thing? And for a while there, we were at different odds. So I just said, you know, like, I don't want to, again, propose or even be in an engaged state until like we both feel like we're comfortable with what we feel like is moving forward for both of us. So I say all of that because then, you know, we were looking at different engagement rings, or most girls have Pinterest boards, you know, and I like this and this kind of stuff. And so we started looking at rings, and I thought, you know, hey, like, I'm finally ready. And this was probably the beginning of the summer. So maybe May or June area. We started looking. So of course I'm telling them like, oh my God, I would have never thought I'd be married. But obviously I have a really special person here. And so of course, like I said, a lot of SHIP staff was all excited for me. They are all, and we did a couple of walkthroughs at NELA, you know, this summer to kind of get prepared for the conference. And so a lot of the women were joking with me, like, oh, what if he proposed by the waterfall? What if he proposed, on top of the mountain? And I'm like, can you not, like, he's not going to do something like that. And then I'm going to be heartbroken. Like, don't get my hopes up. And so that's kind of where they were joking. And so as soon as they saw him, they kind of thought, we didn't mean to steal your mojo, but like, we kind of were excited.
Yeah.
So I really had
really
no
tough.
idea. And then as he said, it's the last day. I was already exhausted because these are like intense conferences, especially if you're working them. And then literally I told them like, hey, I'm not even going to get dressed for this photo. Like, I'm just going to be in the back. Like, I'm staff anyway. And they were like, no, you're going to want to get dressed. Like, do your hair. Like, and I'm like, I'm just going to go take a nap. Like, I don't even care. Me, I barely did my hair. I barely got dressed. And again, thankfully, they were like, no, like, get dressed nice, please.
Yeah, you'd have been super underdressed in all those pictures that would have lasted for a long time.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. And you did it so smooth, Fernando. Man, like, I thought it was pretty cool the way you whipped out the ring in front of everybody. Everybody just kind of like swarmed around you. I thought it was like definitely picture perfect.
I felt like I unlocked a cheat code because I couldn't even get my words out. I was so nervous. And people were just so loud.
Yeah, we had hype people everywhere.
So she comes closer. I'm like, I'll tell you what I want to say later. Will you marry me?
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, nobody knows that part. We're dropping it here at STEMedia Live.
Yeah, exclusive.
Did y'all hear that? STEMedia Live. Y'all gotta give him some love for that. He just dropped the exclusive. It was so loud. It was so much going on. He couldn't get his words out. He just said, listen, I'm gonna tell you later. Will you marry me? And man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Almost like you need one of those mic'd up moments like they have for sports sometimes. But hey, fortunately you weren't mic'd up. So I'm gonna jump ahead really quick. I hope I'm not taking too much thunder, but like, what if you can't insert some advice you may have for someone who, because I feel like it's kind of it's sort of tricky sometimes. I feel like when sometimes you can be I think some people can become so focused on finding someone that they sort of like lose track of like their North Star, what they're headed towards. And then on the other side, kind of like you were mentioning, Brianne, sometimes people can be so focused on achieving the next goal that they're not really caring for themselves outside of their career. So I was just wondering, from you all's perspectives, is there any quick words of advice you can give to someone who's in sort of that middle ground, whether they have someone they're interested in or not someone, or someone's interested in them, they don't really know what to do, and they're just kind of in that middle ground of, we haven't made it serious, but at the same time, I do want to get there eventually.
Yeah, I think for me, like I said, I was so adverse to it or so opposed just because, we're told in society and our families and our cultures and communities, like what it means to be in a relationship or what it means to be a wife or what it means even, to have a career. And for me, it was I was like, oh, I'm not ready for that, or that's too serious, rather than like really just going with the flow. And one, to love myself enough to be loved by someone else. But then also to like realize that it's up to us to build it, right? Like it's up to us of what our relationship looks like, what our boundaries are, what our life and future looks like. And again, like it's just not having the fear to ask the questions or to be honest of what you do or do not like, what your boundaries are. He knows like I love traveling. I love going out, traveling international, hopping on a flight. And that's something that, if I wasn't honest and open with him, like I would be a homebody, miserable. And so it's that type of thing. We're having open communication, but really just having the self-awareness, knowing what you want and who you are, then allows that person to really see you and love you for that, rather than we're all just trying to kind of pretend to be someone we're not. And then everyone's just kind of confused.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Fernando?
I think for me, it's like if you're at that point where you're serious with someone, but you don't know you're going to be fully serious, like you need to stop having a superficial relationship and like go deeper. I think, we joke about this, but we sometimes have like meta conversations about certain words. So, we'll have an argument about something and it's about the way she said it. And then we'll go into the meta because she used a certain word that has a trigger for me. And so like all these different things, we end up having a very thoughtful conversation about, the way you said this about this and the fact that you use these words is really complicated. And so we're able to evolve our relationship evolve our relationship in the right direction because we're having the conversations that we should be having. And I think sometimes, people will have that superficial conversation about, I don't want to be serious with you because of XYZ. and it's not really the true intention of why they don't want to be serious with someone. It's more about just the superficial problems rather than the actual issues that they have or the fears. They fully commit to someone, they're going to let them down because of these other insecurities, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I saw a post recently that said, if you don't deal with, I think he was talking about, your childhood traumas, but I think it spoke to just your character and we as people in general. Like when you get in relationships, a lot of that stuff comes to the surface and you start realizing, so much more work you have to do on yourself. And so it is important not to take that lightly, and not to just try to like glaze over stuff, even when you're single, because at some point you're gonna have to face it, if you are a person that's looking to, unite with someone in a union of this sort. So no, both great answers. Ash Marie, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the badge. We love it. She is loving this conversation. I'm glad you're here with us, Ash. She says, my brother, she got the hands going up, Fernando. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Y'all, Brianne and Fernando, we're going to get to, y'all stay tuned. We're going to get to this STEM version of a newlywed game. We got some questions for the couple here. But first, let me hear, 2020 came around. I'm sure you all didn't expect your wedding planning and all that to take place during, all that 2020 was. So, Brianne, lead us a little bit through that process. Fernando, you can share too from your perspective. What was it like trying to plan a wedding and get all this together in the year 2020?
Yeah, so I think it's very telling. As you know, Fernando and I are gun ho. Once we have our mind made up, like it happens, and we will fight, tooth and nail for it. So funny enough, all of 2020, right when COVID hit, we literally had like a little, what do you call it, like a letter board, and we said, we're getting married, damn it, 2020, like from hell or high water, we're making it happen. Ironically enough, again, he proposed in August, and right after Thanksgiving, we were looking at venues. And then we like booked a place. We fell in love with it. We said we met dancing. We're gonna get married dancing. We want all our friends and family. Gonna get a barn in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna invite all our STEM creatives. Everyone to come and have a good time. And it was gonna be New Year's Eve. So we were already sold on the idea. Again, we booked the place in November, and then obviously March comes and COVID happens, and we're like, well, crap. Let's just wait and see. Funny enough, I had gotten my dress in January, so everything kind of just slowed down. And then it came to like August, and we had gone back and forth. We were literally at Plan F now, and we said, if it's up to us, we would just get married in the trees. Like it'd be beautiful, just us outside. Like that's where we feel like we both come alive. We both camp and hike and really enjoy being outdoors. And so we started looking at places like Tennessee and Virginia and Arkansas, where we had both visited chapters in Arkansas for SHIP, and we thought, man, it's just so beautiful out there. It's secluded, middle of nowhere. And Fernando actually found a blog post based on a photographer, and it was like these beautiful cabins just in the hill country, gorgeous. And we thought, well, let's just go check it out. So in October, we drove up there, fell in love. Literally, we're like in a hot tub with like all the stars in the galaxy. This is just perfect. We have to do this. So then we literally get married in the middle of nowhere. A party of 200 then literally goes down to 20 people, just our bridal parties. Our moms and brothers were invited, and not even everyone of those 20 got to make it. So we ended up getting married again in the middle of nowhere, 20 people. We danced, we played games, had a good time, had some barbecue, had some bomb barbecue for our wedding. And got married in the trees. It actually was like a light drizzle, like it was perfect. And then it snowed the next 2 days. So it was just beautiful.
I saw those bedazzled boots too, Brianne. I was like, oh, look at them. I was like, those are fire. Those are fire. Those are nice. Where'd you get that done at?
Well, they're boots. You can buy them. Corral sells them like that. What's funny is Fernando even had his own pair of wedding boots. So he got his swag on too.
Yes. No, I loved it. It was so on brand. It was so you. Fernando, did it feel less? I mean, where were you at? I mean, were you more nervous because of the, unconventional Plan F style of things, or were you kind of like,
man, it was tough, right? Because, we're at a point where like the decision to be outdoors and the decision that we picked was more focused on, I need to make sure that we're happy with our wedding, but that everything that's coming is going to be safe, right? Because it was I wasn't able to breathe until 2 weeks after the wedding. that I knew that nobody was sick and everybody was safe. Like that's when I felt like I actually had a good, successful wedding. And so, you know, to the point where my mom wasn't able to come to the wedding, right? Like they weren't traveling. And so there was the decision to be made of we postpone our wedding completely and wait for this to pass over, and she's able to be there in, I guess, a very special day, or we move forward with our life and we make a commitment and we celebrate as a family later on. And so as hard as it was a decision to like not have my mom and my brother there, you know, it had to happen, because if you keep waiting for next time or for when things could pass through, we never know when it's going to be. And I think it's important to continue to live our lives, you know, responsibly, of course. But I think, you know, that was kind of like the biggest thing for me was the wedding, was not knowing that I wasn't going to have the people, I guess my mom there was a big deal, right? But at the end of the day, like life is going to move forward and we're going to have more opportunities to make memories. So I think once I was able to get past that and get past the fact that so many people were bombarding me with, how could you not postpone the wedding for your mom? I'm like, I mean, like my mom is very special to me, but you know, I have a new woman in my life, right? So, you know, my wife comes number one now. So I think, you know, focusing on that, number one, and then the rest was kind of the reality. So again, oversharing there, but like that was kind of the biggest thing for me, was making sure people were safe, and we just continued to move forward with our plan.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know that was not an easy decision. You know, definitely not not how you would want it to be. But like you just said, man, I think that was really symbolic. And as much as, you know, even I would have loved to come and cut the rug a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, the only person that matters is, you know, the person you're marrying, you're committing the rest of your life to. So I think that's just beautiful. Thanks for sharing that too. You know, that is really helpful, whether or not it's now or later. And so thank you all for sharing that. Y'all, I hope you all are enjoying this as I am. Y'all share some love. Give me something in the chat for Brianne and Fernando as we get ready to transition to a new segment. But y'all give them some love. If you're enjoying this, let them know in the chat that you are enjoying this. Again, thanks to everybody who was so gracious enough to purchase a badge. Good to see you coding the dream. Brianne and Fernando, 2 engineers, newlyweds. They got married December 31st, 2020.
Yes, sir.
December 31st. So now you all will celebrate an anniversary, as well as the Happy New Year celebrations and festivities for years to come. I love it. I love it. Power couple. See what Randall says. Power couple.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, y'all. You guys got something to write with? We're going to do a little newlywed game. I'm going to ask you all some questions. We're going to try to make this a little STEM version. Some questions are STEM related. Some questions are STEM related. Some questions are just general. But we're going to ask questions about your partner, about your spouse. Now, you have to write the answer so that we know that you're not changing it when your spouse finds the answers.
42.
See how well you all know each other. All right. All right. You all, here we go. Love it. I see you. I-21. Good to see you. All right. Let's start things off. What was your partner's worst STEM class in college? Your partner's worst STEM class in college. Go ahead and write it down real quick. You guys got a few seconds. We're going to see how well they know each other, fam.
So how are we doing this? Is she going to write
You write Brianne. You write Brianne's, and Brianne writes yours.
Okay.
And then I'll give you the cue when you reveal. Yeah. All right, did y'all get it written down already? All right. Let's start with you, Fernando. What was your? Oh, you gonna write? Give me yours. What was your worst STEM class?
Mine was structures.
What did you get, Brianne?
I put thermo.
Ah, not quite.
I mean, that was a tough class.
I knew it was tough, but I didn't know structures.
I dropped structures 3 times.
Wow. All right, Brianne, what was your worst one before we reveal what Fernando wrote? What was your worst one? Calculus 2. Oh, shit. Cal 3. Oh, you're off. You're off by just one cal. All right. Let's flip it. The next question is, what was your partner's best, their favorite? All right. What was your partner's best or favorite STEM class in college? I know this is tough. You had to guess. Dania, good to see you. You just in time for the STEM Newlyweds game. Thanks for joining us. I've asked them a question. What was their partner's best STEM class in college? All right, let's start with you, Brianne. Tell us yours. Tell us yours. What was your best STEM class in college before
Still
Fernando?
guessing.
That's fine.
What do you got? Oh, you still guessing?
Mine was engineering statistics.
Engineering statistics. Dynamics. Okay, all right. He took a shot in the dark. It's all good.
He said she likes cars. They move around, right?
That's true. Fernando, what was your best?
Water resources.
Hey!
Oh, give it up for Brianne. 1 point, Brianne. 1 point, Brianne. I didn't say we'd keep a score, but if we were, Brianne would have that point. She would have that point. All right. Let's keep it going. And you all, hope you all enjoyed. All right, here we go. What is your partner's dream job? Dream job. What is your partner's dream job? All right. Let's see if you can answer this. Let's see how well they know each other, fam. This is the media love edition newlyweds game.
Here's the thing.
All right.
Brianne has a lot of dreams, a lot of favorite movies, a lot of favorite songs.
And a lot of favorites. Let's see. All right. What is your partner's dream job? That's the question, y'all. So let's see. We started with Brianne revealing last time, so we're gonna get Fernando. You reveal your dream job, and let's see if Brianne can nail it.
So I say my dream job?
Yeah, say yours.
So probably like a nonprofit for building schools in the world.
What did you get, Brianne? What did you write down?
So I put the CEO of commercial land development because a big part of it would be that we could build a school.
There we go. Fernando, did you get that? You give it to her?
Yeah, I'll give it to her.
All right. Brianne, what is your dream job? What is your dream job?
This is hard. I think I would just say, being able to speak internationally.
Public speaking. International speaker. Give it up. Y'all gotta give him some hearts. Fernando, he knows his wife. He knows his wife. There you go. International speaker, and that I can see for sure. All right,
stop laughing at me.
All right, here we go. This is just who is the most, right? I'm asking, who is the funniest? Who is the funniest? Write it down. Who do you think is funny? Let's see if y'all can agree. Who is the funniest person in your relationship? The funniest person. All right, we're gonna get y'all to reveal at the same time. All right, reveal at the same time. 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Him.
Fernando. Okay. All right. They agree. All right, here we go. Who is the tidiest? The neatest?
Should we just write my name over and over?
Rude.
Oh, snap. All right, reveal. 1, 2, 3. Oh, man.
There's no mystery here.
Oh, no. There's no mystery. All right. Got you. All right, let's go back to another STEM question. Here it is. If your partner was any fictional STEM-ish character, any fictional STEM-related character, who would he or she be? All right? I'm going to ask you a little bit. A fictional STEM-related character. All right? What up, Ash? You seeing this? That's it. Rude.
I don't even know what my answer is for myself.
Well, no, we're just going to ask, we're going to get more insight on how you view the other person from this one. All right? So we won't ask, you won't have to guess what the other person writes, but just go ahead and tell me if your partner was any STEM-related character, fictional character, who would they be? All right, let's go with you, Brianne. If Fernando was any STEM-related fictional character, tell us who would they be and give us why.
Fernando would be Captain Planet.
Captain Planet, all right.
Because he does a really good job of bringing everyone's differences together to like save the world, to do good, and it's like really cool doing it. So he's Captain Planet.
I love it. Captain Planet, with our powers combined.
All the reasons.
I love it. I know, right? I love it. All right, Fernando, Brianne was any STEM-related fictional character, who would she be? Iron Woman. Tell us why.
She likes tinkering. She likes the fact that, you can build, like everything comes together with AI, the idea of robots, the idea of just, making a difference and using technology to make a difference. And I think like that's kind of what I think about from a STEM perspective. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, BB.
I got you. All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna go back to another one where you try to remember it, see if you know this about the other person. What was your partner's first STEM job, paid or no paid? What was their first STEM job? Let's see if you can know. Write it down. Your partner, Brianne, you write down Fernando's first STEM job. Fernando, you write down Brianne's. Let's see if you know this. I hope y'all are enjoying this. Dania said, "This is adorbs." Thank you so much for joining us here. Hope y'all having a great time. I'm loving this. This is a couple I just care a lot about. I'm having so much fun with them. Let's see if they're ready to know or declare what their partner's first STEM job was, paid or non-paid. Fernando, let's go with you first. Let me ask you, Brianne, what was your first? No, let's go. Reveal yours, Fernando, and then we'll ask Brianne. What do you think? No, what do you think Brianne's first one was?
So I think Brianne's was City of Victoria civil intern.
Ah, that's correct?
Yeah, it is.
So tell us about that job really quick, shortly.
Yeah, so I was a freshman, funny enough, 19 years old, and I thought, again, as I was mentioning, like I learned so much better hands-on. I just need an engineering internship. So I was telling everyone and their mother, if you know an engineering internship, please let me know. And so I was at school in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in my hometown, Victoria. Someone that knew someone that said, oh, I can actually introduce you. They're needing an intern. So I literally drove around the entire city grading streets as a civil engineer intern just so I could have engineering internship my freshman year.
Oh, man, I love how you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You made it happen. You willed it into existence.
I did. I really did.
Yes. All right, Brianne, what was Fernando's first STEM-related job? See if you know it.
A CAD tech designer.
CAD tech, is that correct, Fernando?
Yeah.
Tell us a review about that first gig.
I'll give her that one. I was a sophomore, and I had seen a listing on Craigslist for looking for CAD technician. I worked for this company. It was one guy, civil engineer. In his backyard, he had like a shed, and he had like a printer and computers. So I worked for him, one-man job, and so I was his CAD technician. I would just draft up plans for him as he was doing his plans. But what I would say my first STEM job was, I was a math tutor in 5th grade. So from a STEM perspective, that's technically my first STEM-related job.
And what's funny is my actual first one was putting together PLCs in someone's garage. And again, I think it's both because we were like doing it, getting ideas and our foot in the door. But that's what I did during college, again, probably my sophomore year.
That's crazy. It's like y'all living parallel lives all this time. I love it. I love it. Let's see. I got one or two more. All right. Let's go with your spouse's favorite book. All right. Let's see if our audience can get a little bit of advice, suggestions from this. What would be your spouse's favorite book? And I want to hear, when we find out the actual answers, I definitely want to hear why. Shout out to you, Ask Maria, again. She said, come on, 5th grade tutor. Yes. I love it. All right. So let's start with you, Brianne, this time. What did you say was Fernando's first, favorite book? I'm sorry, favorite book.
So I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to say The 4 Agreements.
Okay.
It was the book that I suggested to him, literally, of that 14-hour conversation. And at least once a year, he'll go back and reread it. And last year, he even did a book club on it. So that's going to be my bias, but what I think he's go-to is.
She right?
Yeah.
She's right?
I mean, she recommended the book. I get to the airport, I buy the book. By the time I land in Houston, I've already read the book, have notes, and I have talking points to talk to her about.
I see you,
Brianne, you instantly upgraded him. Just like that. Yeah. I'm talking about first conversation, instantly upgraded him. Fernando, shout out to you for actually, reading it.
No, I mean, I read it every single year.
Yeah, and I remember actually when I had you on STEMedia Live as a single guest, you actually mentioned that book. So I love it. Hey, there we go. Brianne just lit a match, and it just kind of spread it to the whole community.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So what is Brianne's favorite book?
So she has a lot of favorite books, but I think the one is Love by Leo Buscaglia or something.
Yep.
That's right? Okay.
It is right. Yeah.
Tell us why.
So my mom actually, as kind of my going away gift to college, she gave me a book that really, again, kind of launched her personal development and kind of self-help growth. And it's actually the book she had in college. And so I still have it. I still have it on my shelves. I read it once a year. Love by Leo Buscaglia. And it's all about, I was telling you, if you love leaves, like bring your leaves inside. If there's simple things that and I think the biggest quote that really resonates with me is he says, the best thing anyone can do for you is call you crazy, because then it releases any and all expectations and you can live your life freely. Call me crazy so I can do whatever I want.
That is deep. See, look, I thought we were just going to be talking about love and stuff like, lovey-dovey. That's deep. And if I just may just kind of parenthetically just go in on that, like, you're absolutely right. Like, so many people feel like they have to continue to play the game and continue to hold up the facade. But once someone calls you crazy, it's like, you already think I'm crazy now. Now let me go ahead and do me.
Yeah, and really he actually taught love classes at USC. So, I mean, he literally dove in deep into like what it means to love ourselves, each other, a community. So again, he's amazing. I love that book.
Oh, man. Fernandoooo was your favorite, too. So shout out to you, Fernando, for getting it right. All right, cool. Let me see. Shout out to people. Everybody said, Donovan said that's his dad's favorite book. Bought him The Fifth Agreement 2 Christmas ago. So The Four Agreements is his favorite. Yes, we got a lot of 4 agreements. A lot of people rock with that. Cosmically Minded said permission to feel. Y'all giving all the good feels. So thanks for being here with us, sis. I'm really happy to see you. That's a smart man, y'all. The Aspen Retail said. Woo, I love it. I love it. All right, last question. We got to end on this note. What would you say is one of your spouse's favorite traits? What would you say would be one of their favorite, best traits? What would you say is your spouse's best trait, one of their best traits? Go ahead and write that down. And we want to end on this last question for the Newlywed Gang. Just go ahead and tell us why you wrote what you wrote. And not speaking. All right, whoever wants to go first, go have at it.
I think for me, Brianne's best trait is her passion. I think, unfortunately, sometimes Brianne is a very in your face type of person. And she wears her heart on her sleeve, and she lays it all out there. And I think sometimes she's taken the wrong way, but she's just so passionate about what she wants to do with her life, what she wants to do in this world, that she doesn't let anybody's thoughts or comments or issues attack her, right? So I think the fact that she's so passionate and so willing and just committed to making a difference, I think that's her best trait, because she's not going to give up, regardless of whatever life throws at her.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Hold it together.
I love it. That's it. Right here on STEMedia Live, the Love Edition. That's right. We're making it nice and warm and cozy. Go ahead, Brianne. Tell us yours.
Yeah, so for Fernando's, it's actually his empathy and thoughtfulness. Fernando is one of the most just sincerest, honest, heart-to-heart person. He's a bro, which is crazy. He's related and friends with anyone he meets. He doesn't meet a stranger. So just the fact that he has this ability to be so empathetic and so thoughtful for so many people, whether it's checking in on people or whether, someone is acting out or being a little crazy, and he'll be the one to go over and be like, hey man, just be yourself. You don't gotta do all that, So just the fact that he takes the responsibility upon himself, but he's just, again, such an empath, a good, loving, thoughtful, kind-hearted person. And he's just a big teddy bear.
Yeah. I love it. That's beautiful. We getting a lot of cosigns here in the chat for both of you all. People agree with the passion. People agree with the empathy. And I agree. Let me just say that I agree totally with both of you. I can't think of a better person to continue to work with, Brianne. Still Success Summit, everything we're doing, being on the team. Fernando, I noticed your empathy and your thoughtfulness just from the conversations we had, some of the things we were going to do together, and some of the things that we have done. I noticed that. So I can definitely agree with that as well. And you all are just very, very awesome to me. Quick question before I go. I hope you all have enjoyed this, and I can tell that they have. Yes, Brianne Striver, Astro Biomedical says. Donovan says, beautiful. Such a kind couple. That's right, Ash. Any pros or cons, really quick, about being married to somebody or with someone in the same line of work? Anything you can speak on or say on that really quick?
Yeah, I mean, pros and cons. It's great because she understands what I'm working on. I can speak technical and it doesn't like fly over her head.
Yeah.
You know, we can talk about, you know, solutions and problems and come up with engineering, you know, ideas to fix problems. The cons is, you know, we're very technical sometimes, right? And so we come at problems. The biggest con for me, before I go through this like long short list, is I always want to fix stuff, right? And so she'll bring something to me, and all she wants to do is vent, and I go into like, okay, well, what's the problem? Well, what are our constraints? And let's figure out the new things that we can fix. And in a relationship, you don't have to fix everything, right? So I think that that's probably the biggest con of dating an engineer.
Yeah, I'm guilty as charged, man. Y'all, I didn't actually get all of my business, but for some reason you just chose to, so I'm not gonna say nothing about that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Brianne.
Yeah, I think I'll start with the cons too of, again, as he mentioned, like you're dealing with someone who's such a high intellectual, like, you know, logic thinker. So I'll be honest and be like, you know, I'll get like an intellectual rise out of like seeing what I can get away with or who I can manipulate. And for him, like we go toe to toe. So there is no like who can get away with what, because like if you want to debate, like let's go, you know. So it gets pretty heated, pretty serious, because we're both very hard type A personalities, even in our engineering, and you know we're both different too. But you know, like we're both very driven. So when we're busy, and we have to be very intentional about spending time together or communicating. Like, hey, I miss you, or I don't feel like you know we're spending time together. So that's again another con is both ambitious people, as well as I guess the third con would be that we're both very stubborn. We're very alpha. So again, when it comes to two leaders and you have to kind of, you know, zig and zag with each other, you know, like again, that's a level of communication and learning how to bob and weave and follow and lead at the same time. So that's kind of the cons too. And that tends to happen in engineers because again, we're problem solvers. You got to just show up and get it done. But from the pro side, is like you said, like we've literally been sketching designs on the back of napkins, like at dinner, like we're having sushi and he's telling me about like, or I'm telling him about how a rivet is failing, or he's telling me about like a joint that they just can't understand. And we're literally brainstorming, which is crazy. Like we're doing this over dinner. Another pro is again, like he's a civil engineer, the long-term project planner. So for him, he's very conscientious. For me, I'm a quick start. I'm in manufacturing, you know, iteration, agile. We got to keep going. And so sometimes when he'll get stuck in a plan, I'll just say, well, just trial and error it. Or these are some things like have your bare minimum and keep going. And he'll do the same for me. Like, I just want to keep going. He's like, well, Brianne, you maybe need to slow down and like have a plan, give people milestones. So again, that there's so much pros in us being cognizant similarly, but also have a different approach. So like I said, it's so much, it's cool. It's actually really fun.
I can imagine. Man, this has been, I knew this was going to be fun, but this has been like, this is pretty cool. Like, I just love it. And I can just tell y'all how grateful I am that you all, again, you know, you took time out of your first Valentine's Day as a married couple to join your boy, Dr. Nee, here on STEMedia Live, the STEMedia Love Edition. And man, this has just been a great conversation. You all have shed so much light. And again, if you all are watching this on YouTube or on Instagram, make sure you follow them. Just they're both doing amazing things in their own right. Fernando is doing amazing things. He really cares about the community. He's also making tremendous strides as a professional civil engineer. Brianne, aka the People Engineer, y'all gotta check her out. She has a phenomenal personal brand. Not to mention, she's also a part of the STEM Avengers. You know, bringing you the STEM Success Summit on an annual basis. And I just can't tell y'all how much I appreciate you in this. I feel truly blessed and fortunate to have crossed paths with both of you.
Likewise.
You know? It's just phenomenal. All the way back to the STEM creatives when we're doing our masterminds and everything. And yeah, I just look forward for a continual relationship with you all, and then you all continue to grow together, and just being able to witness that, it's just going to be beautiful.
Well, thank you for having us. We're really excited to share this day with you. Like you said, you've been a longtime friend of ours, and plenty of people joining. Thank you all for all the love and support. This was definitely fun for us too.
Yes. So parting words, anything you can give, and just keeping in mind that obviously we have people across the spectrum. You know, this is Valentine's Day. Sometimes people call it, I guess, Single Awareness Day. But, you know, I started off this live just to really say that, you know, we love you, whether romantically or not. Like, we just really have love for this community, you know, platonically, you know, agape love. We just brotherly love. It's just, this is really what this is all about. So if there are any words that you can give before we say goodbye, each of you, to our community at large, whether they're in a similar position or a dissimilar position, before we say goodbye.
I think for me, it's the 5 love languages are very important. Not just in relationships, but also in the teams that you're going to lead, the industry that you're going to be a part of, the engineering groups you're going to be working with. I think so many times we're just so focused on talking to, like, we're told the golden rule: treat people like you want to be treated. And to me, that's a lie, because you should treat people the way they want to be treated. And I think, when we talk about the love languages, we need to understand how people want to be communicated to. What are their triggers? What are the things that drive them? And so I think if you're going to be part of a romantic relationship, know what your partner wants, and love them the way they want to be loved. Give them the attention that they want to be receiving. And, for me, it's one thing, and for her, it's another. And so if I show her love the way I want to be loved, she's going to feel like I'm not there for her. And I think it's important for that couples are focused on that and making sure that they're there for the other person the way they should be.
That's good. That's good. Brianne?
Yeah, I'll say emotional intelligence is key. Again, just knowing yourself, knowing others and the way that we react. I know we had in the chat earlier, someone mentioned permission to feel. And that's something, like being able to understand, like, we are humans and no one's perfect. And being that safe space or that safety net for someone to just feel broken or hurt, but to also feel heard and understood and loved either way, So that's the kind of part where having the emotional intelligence, even within yourself, right? Setting healthy boundaries, whether it be with friends or family, coworkers. So again, whether or not you're single, like understanding, like, this is what I will and will not put up with. This is how I love myself and what I need. And these are the healthy boundaries I set around myself. So that way, if or when someone, a friend or family member, or even a potential, mate or soulmate or, partner comes in the way, you already understand what you're working with, what you will and will not tolerate. And you are going to have that emotional intelligence. So again, as he mentioned, someone has their own triggers, someone has their own stuff. Like, we're all dealing with life differently. You can be there and understand them and still come from a place of love and peace, and it's not going to rock your world, and vice versa. So to your point, we're all here with love and patience and understanding, and we want to exude so much more kindness in the world, but like, you have to be kind to yourself in order to even see it through the eyes of others.
Yes. Well, much love to the both of you. Thank you so much for spending this time with us on STEMedia Live. I'm gonna let you all salvage the last moments of your Valentine's Day with one another, and we'll catch you all later. Thank you so much, Fernando. Thanks so much for Brianne.
Thank you. Good night.
Take care. Good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. This has been STEMedia Live, the Love Edition. Ms. Morales, yes, I agree. Phenomenal way to end Valentine's Day. Constantly Managed, thanks for the applause, Jen. Thank you so much. Well said. You all have been fantastic. I hope you enjoyed it. I guess, again, I want to give another shout out really quick. Black and Grad School, thank you, Alante. Thank you, Aspery. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Sandra, for the badges in support of STEM Media. We're definitely going to continue to bring this to you every Sunday evening. We hope to see you all next time with our next phenomenal guest, another person who is creative and inspirational in the STEM community. But until next time, I just want you all to know that I love you, care about you, and if no one else has said it to you, just hear from STEM Media. Much love. Have a great week. Take care. Peace.